Hey, so today I want to talk about how to identify what type of business owner persona are you speaking with, okay? This will close 5 to 10 times more sales for you over your career, okay? And also, I just want to say, hey, thank you so much for watching this channel. I think it's been 980 videos. I've never officially said thank you for watching my channel, right? Without you, I would just be kind of sitting here with his computer for thousands of hours, like literally thousands of hours. I've filmed over 1,000 videos so far. So I really do appreciate, you taking the time to kind of watch and to, implement the stuff that you're learning, like write it down, like learn. I really appreciate that. So also, this is my favorite shirt. I've reminded about how grateful I was because I was just going for a walk and it's like 90 degrees outside and it has like UV protection, so it's able to kind of keep me from getting like having to wear sunscreen and stuff. So I really enjoy this. So let's kind of jump into this. So there are 4 quadrants of buyers that you're going to run into when you're trying to sell accounting and bookkeeping services. There are also a certain type of buying patterns as well. We're going to go both over buyer personas as well as buyer patterns so that you know exactly who you're talking to and you can act accordingly, whether it's in Messenger, on the sales call, etc., etc. So you're always prepared to go and close the deals as much and as frequently as possible. So I'm on 2 different cameras right now. I don't know if I'm gonna shift them together, but I'm gonna draw a whiteboard. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna be on this main screen right now. So there are 4 main types of buyers. Now I'm gonna draw with a quadrant. So I'm gonna actually put in 4 of these squares. Boom. Control V. Yeah, don't know how to draw squares. So I'm using Zoom, and they have like this built-in drawing feature. It's kind of new, so please excuse the fact that I'm not really getting the squares to touch each other correctly. I'm doing the best I can. So the first type of buyer is gonna be low ticket, okay? So when I say like low ticket, these are generally people that are gonna be spending below $500 a month. Now, low ticket in other industries might mean something different. I'm talking about specifically for the accounting and bookkeeping space for like your monthly services, okay? Low ticket is gonna be someone that wants to do everything themselves because maybe they don't have a lot of budget, or they might have money, they just don't want to spend the money, okay? Low ticket buyer is not based on how much money they have necessarily. I've seen people where they have $1 million in the bank, but they don't want to spend more than $300 a month for accounting and bookkeeping services, right? That's just people that just don't really value the service and they just don't really value spending money. Now these, in my opinion, when you're starting out your business, these are the worst clients to get. Also, if you want some help growing your business, but you just don't really know what you don't know about growing, you need to do something, but you just don't know what, go ahead and click the link inside the description either above or below the video to book a call with myself to see if I can help you inside our mentorship program. Everything we talk about inside these videos are something we help you with inside our mentorship program. So the low ticket buyer, the reason why they're dangerous is because they will make you feel that you are pricing your stuff incorrectly, when in actuality it's not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of them. That is why whenever I tell you about pricing, I always talk about pricing needs to be objective. It's not subjective to how you feel. You have to be very objective. This is the value of the work that is required for you to have the services and have the outcome that you're looking for, right? So that way, if someone ever says, oh, your price is too high, it's not good, okay, it doesn't matter because it's not a reflection of you. It's just what the work is. Now, a low ticket buyer will often say stuff like, well, why can't I do this stuff on my own? Well, why do I need you? Can't I just hire someone else to do that? Maybe I can just bring on a data person to do a lot of the work and then you just kind of like do an overview of it, right? Maybe, or it's expensive, right? That's a little bit different than someone who says like, what you have is worth it, I just can't afford it right now, or I just spent my like budget on something else and I'm waiting for it to recharge, or I have to go and get a bank loan to do it, right? Usually low ticket buyers will blame you. People inside of other quadrants will blame themselves. That's totally different like mindset shift. It's very subtle, and like you're gonna have to like kind of do your consultation calls, review your consultation calls to kind of get an understanding of when they're saying that, because it can be in the moment, it can be a little bit kind of like disappointing when someone's kind of like saying your price too high or XYZ or whatever the case might be. So just kind of like, I always recommend like recording your calls so that you can actually go back afterwards and like listen to them to kind of see what was good, what was bad, what would you fix, what would you want to improve for like the next time, etc., etc., just to make it easier for you to improve and like to get better and better at sales, right? Because the better you get at sales, the less marketing you have to do. You don't have to do a million sales calls. You don't have to do a million hours of marketing. You don't have to be on like videos or writing content. If you just, the first 10 people you speak to, you close 7 out of 10 people. You're already at, let's say 7 times 500 a month minimum. You're already at $3,500 a month minimum in your first 10 calls, right? That's minimum. That's not kind of if you get a $2,000 a month client or a $5,000 a month client. It doesn't really matter, okay? Next thing is going to be like low to mid-ticket buyer. So when I say low to mid, that means they are willing to spend a slightly higher amount of money, okay? Now, that means they might buy something low. So you might have like an online like calculator, or you might like sell like a $100 consultation call, or you might sell like maybe like you have like a $500 diagnostic review where you basically go and like look at their books and give them like the findings. Okay, now that's important because these people can actually fund your advertising costs. So what I mean by that is as you get better and better in business, you're going to want to expand a little bit faster, or just say you just don't want to do the organic marketing, you can invest in advertising. You utilize the low ticket and the mid ticket pricing to basically liquidate the costly ads. So let's say that you have one call. Each call that you do costs you about $50 to get an advertiser. I'm just giving a hypothetical number. It's not necessarily real. It could be real, it could be not. I'm just giving you a hypothetical number. Okay, so if you take 3 $50 calls, $150. If you just sell one diagnostic review, or you maybe charge someone for an extra consultation call for $150, you've just liquidated the cost of those ads, and you had those 3 sales calls for free. That's a methodology you can use to grow your business, at least at a pretty good pace in the beginning, if you didn't want to take the time to build relationships and do like referral partners. So I do like these low to mid ticket buyers because they'll buy multiple things, and it allows me to be able to liquidate my ad costs so I can just spend further. Okay, that's a little bit more of an advanced topic. I would not recommend you start here if you're starting your business. It just doesn't really make sense financially for you to do that, because it does take skill set to build something that people are actually going to be willing to pay. It's, in my opinion, and just from what I've seen, and just from paying hundreds of thousands of dollars on like to be in masterminds with business owners that are doing multiple millions of dollars, it's harder to sell someone, especially online, something for $150 to about $750, like a one-time thing off like a website, than it is to sell something for like $5,000 or $3,000 or $5,000 a month. It's mind-boggling. I know you might be thinking, that doesn't make any sense, Bryce. It's easier to get someone to pay like $150 versus $5,000. It's totally not, right? Because usually for a higher ticket price point, you're going to be on a consultation call or a phone call of some sort where you can actually build a value, you can talk about, you can answer questions. When it's on a website, you have to have your marketing so on point they can answer all the questions and misconceptions someone might have, that if you're just on a phone call, it'll be so much easier to do. So it's easier to do it just because of the way that those are generally sold in a lot of cases. Okay, and again, like, I wouldn't do it in the beginning, because if you need to like make a certain amount of money to like leave your job, then it's very hard to make enough $150 purchases to make like 10 grand. So let's say, what is that, 10,000, let's say $10,000 a month, or let's say $10,000 period, divided by, that's, I guess low to mid ticket would actually be considered like personal taxes, like $250, etc. So like, I would actually use personal taxes to build the marketing budget for this year. So let's say that like, let me finish my first example. $10,000 divided by 150. You need 66 people to pay that to get $10,000. A lot of people, they kind of struggle, especially when it comes to taxes. They're like, I made like 5,000 or 10,000, which like for taxes, that's a lot of people. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't really know what you're really gonna do with an extra 5,000, 10,000. Not to be like bougie or just like rude. It's just life wise, I don't really know what that's gonna do outside of like maybe it'll pay for like 2 or 3 vacations for the year, which is good. But a better way to take that money that you got from taxes would be to invest it back in your business. You can invest in leads, marketing, etc., depending on what stage of your business you are, right? So if you have $10,000, and let's say that you're going to go and put that inside of some sort of investment. Okay, so $10,000. Let's say it's going to cost you about $500 per client. that can get you 20 monthly accounting clients. And if each client is going to be paying you about $500 a month, that puts you at $10,000 a month times about 12 months. That's $120,000 a year. So you utilize the money from the low to mid ticket, like I was talking about earlier, utilize that to go and then build your business and build the recurring revenue, right? So everyone has to start somewhere. Like what I personally do in some cases is, rather than go and get like the revenue from the taxes, I'll just go get like a business line of credit with like a 0% APR for like XYZ months, right? And I can go and reinvest in ads, and that creates an extra 100 or however many thousands of dollars that I'm going to be doing. When you have a recurring revenue service like bookkeeping and accounting, it makes no sense. That's, again, that is not beginner advice. I know maybe you're watching and like maybe you're a beginner, maybe you're not. I don't know exactly. But I'm outlining all 4 of the quadrants because I want to give you a realistic viewpoint into what the actual like constraints in the market actually is, so you're prepared when you go to it. Okay, next quadrant is going to be high ticket. Okay, so boom 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 boom, let me put it down. High ticket. So this is where I love to start if you're starting your business. Okay, high ticket. Reason why: takes a small number of clients to go and grow and reach your financial goals. That's number 1. Second thing is, they're generally easier to deal with because it's not necessarily that they want to talk to you less, but their thinking is generally clearer. So most times what happens is when someone's in the startup phase, it's very hectic. There's a lot of fires that are thrown in, like they're dealing with. There's only like maybe 1 or 2 like types of employees, and they just don't really have a lot of budget to pay you. And due to that, they're doing everything themselves. The more budget someone has means the more team members they have. In a lot of cases, not every case, but in a lot of cases, they have more team they have to manage. They're used to managing and dealing people. They're used to training people. They're used to interacting with team members, contractors, etc. So they are a little bit more balanced in their thinking and the way they go and approach life. So there are less emergencies. It's really the number of emergencies someone has that really causes stress, right? Because if someone has an emergency every 2 days, like, hey, I need to talk to you. Hey, what's going on? Hey, I spent this thing. Is that okay? Hey, is my financial statement ready? Hey, can I spend this? It's like, that's just annoying. Versus someone already has a lot of money in the bank, they're just like calm. It's like, hey man, I did this. Hey man, I just sent you the initial payment. Hey man, are things good? How are you doing? Awesome. Hey man, here's some tickets to go, or I had a couple clients that actually like pay for like dinners every once in a while. To be like, hey man, thanks so much for your help. They just give me like a gift card like Outback Steakhouse, which I like. Surprisingly, I like Outback Steakhouse. Okay, I love Outback Steakhouse. I've been to a lot of fancy ones, but I love Outback. I can't tell you why, I just know I do. Okay, so if you're watching this video and maybe you can't afford to do my mentorship program, send me a gift card. I'll accept it. If you give me a gift card to a nice steakhouse, I will do some coaching with you, a one-on-one coaching session with you. Yeah, we can start the relationship off like that. I'll give you some actionable advice if you do that. Okay, so that's high ticket. Again, that's where I start my business. I think everyone should start with high ticket recurring services. Okay, so now high ticket can be both recurring services as well as high ticket cleanups. Okay, now someone can be a mixture. They can be a low ticket on the cleanup but a high ticket monthly, right? Someone can be a low ticket on the cleanup and a medium ticket on the monthly. So there can be mixes of these, right? Someone can want to pay like the small amount per month but not mind paying like a high like one-time fee. So just you have to kind of understand your buyer, and there are mixes of the two. Someone can be a high ticket buyer and a low ticket buyer. I'm gonna actually talk about that in the next panel, but that is another one that there is. But I like high ticket buyers, at least in the beginning, so I can really make sure that I can grow my business, hit my initial revenue goals. Now there is a time and a place for every single one of these buying personas. Keep that in mind, okay? I'm just talking about like first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. I will actually put inside of the note like 1, 2, 3, 4, and like these are just like the numbers that you'll go after them. So high ticket first, low to mid second, low ticket mystery category is third, low ticket is fourth. It's like last. The next category is value ladder or service suite runner. That means they just buy everything. They just love you. Whether it costs $1, $50, $250, they might buy your payroll service, your accounting service. If you sell insurance, if you sell real estate, they'll buy a house from you. You know, they'll let you do their taxes. They'll if they need tax resolution, like they'll let you, any service you have, they'll pay you money. Okay. Now, I do not recommend going after these people in the beginning, because the more services you offer, the more diversified you are, and like the more spread out you are. Like in the beginning, I really like, when I'm starting out, like just keeping it close to like cleanups and monthly. Like it really depends, and like don't take this as like specific advice for yourself, but just my thought is like, I'm always trying to increase my monthly recurring revenue by about $1,000 per month. Okay? The cleanups will help to kind of like basically be like an emergency fund for, you know, when you quit your job. But then the monthly service is really the thing that's gonna like support your bills in your life. The cleanups is more just like safety and security. So I actually like having a mixture of like maybe 2 monthly clients plus a cleanup. Like that's just me. If you're starting, like you have to like revenue goal as fast as possible, just go after the high ticket monthly clients as fast as possible. But I'm just saying from a perspective, if your plan is to leave your business or your job within like, you know, 3 to 6 months, then like really having that pace of 2 high ticket monthly clients plus 1 cleanup project really gets the job done pretty well. But again, that's why like having the value service is like a lot, because every single thing that you do, you need to have excellence, right? So you can't do like a partial job on like a tax prep and then not really do well on like the monthly bookkeeping. Maybe you don't really understand financial statements. Maybe you offer CFO service, but you don't really know what you're doing. You try and do tax plan, and they get audited by the IRS, and they end up owing a lot more money. They get in trouble. They get sent to jail. You know what I mean? Maybe you're selling insurance, but you don't really know what you're doing. Like the more services you have, the harder it is to get it perfectly right. All right, but I do think it's easier to sell these than to sell like the low ticket, because again, the low ticket, if you're just selling off a website, is very, very, very tough to do. So in terms of like what's order of operations, high ticket first, second is gonna be low ticket to mid ticket, third is gonna be a value ladder, like a bunch of different like products. Generally it's high to mid, and then you kind of go down. Fourth is gonna be like just a low ticket suite. Okay, so that is how I think about each one of those. Now, moving on next, characteristics of a buyer. So we're talking about like the different I'll talk about the different buying patterns that people have. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Okay. Different characteristics of each type of buyers. Okay, so I'm just gonna go down the list first, and I'll explain each one, then I'll talk about how to actually like sell to them. So number 1 is impulse. Number 2 is gonna be trust but verify. 3 is the researcher. 4 is fearful. 5 is excuse maker / procrastinator. 6 can be logistical interruption. Okay, so impulse, someone who's just gonna buy anything from whoever they talk to first. I love these kind of people. They're great. They're great to work with as well, because they get you the information. They just do everything fast. Instead of saying impulsive decision, I would say decisive. Right? Actually, I'll put decisive as a different one. Because decisive doesn't necessarily mean they'll just say yes. It means like they're either gonna say yes, heck, they'll say H word yes or H word no. Right? They're in. Right? Next one is trust but verify. I really like trust but verify. I'll just be completely honest with you. I have a lot of information. I have a lot of references. I have a lot of testimonials. I have a lot of internet stuff people can use to research me and fall in love with me. So I love when people like trust it, because I have like a really good trusted brand, and I help people out like the way that I say it. I'm like very, very specific in how I say I can help people. When people go and research me, I actually get more sales from people actually going and researching me than I do from just like impulse buyers. It's amazing, because we get the trust person and verify. They're kind of just like the decisive person. Like they're like, okay, I trust this. I am ready to go. They get better results. They stay with you longer. They give you referrals. They give you testimonials. Like it's just, the minute I switched my business from impulse buyers to trust but verifier, oh my gosh, crazy. Next thing is researcher. Okay, similar to trust but verify, but like these people are kind of like more on the fence. They can go like 50-50. Right, the trusted person, like they trust you, they just want to go and just make sure, because they're pretty much impulse buyers, but they may have been burned in the past, or just something has happened that's made them want to kind of like verify stuff. So researcher, a little bit different. I like them as well, because again, same thing as a trust but verify. The more people like can look at me and like watch me and stuff, the more they understand it. Right. Next thing is going to be fearful. Okay, fearful can be a little bit tricky. Fearful can be tough because in some cases there's a type of personality that will not do something that they didn't do well in before. So let's say that someone has hired a bookkeeper in the past. Those people might not ever hire another bookkeeper. They might want to do it themselves forever, right? That's generally not going to be a successful business owner, because business is all about trying things until you find what works. Right, so you're not going to really run into the fearful persona as much. You will if you're dealing with like newer business owners, right? So just kind of be aware of that. As you deal with better quality clients, that goes away, because these people have generally learned how to deal with their fear, right? That's literally what entrepreneurship is: learning how to balance your fear and get a tangible return every single time that you, well, not every single time, but get a tangible return whenever you face your fear. Next thing. Excuse maker / procrastinator. Okay, these ones are like 75% of the time they won't buy. There's 25% of the time where they'll get over the procrastination, but I've just kind of found that some people, like, they're just kind of set in their ways, and like they might say they want accounting, they might say they want this, they might say they want to make a change, but they just don't, right? Until like they either have like a life change or something forces them to do it. So these people generally are going to need a little bit more time to kind of like just live life and then come back to you. Now, these people, like I said, 75-25. 75% of people are not going to buy it from you. 25% of them will. You don't really know who's going to be that person, because it might take a long time for them to get started with you. Next one's going to be like logistical interruption. They ran out of cash. They just invested $1 million into a new building, but it kind of depleted a lot of their safety funds or whatever. They are in a contract for another 3 months with like a current accountant, bookkeeper, CPA firm. They can't go and like work with someone else until after the contract's up. It could be that their current bookkeeper is going to be retiring in XYZ months, right? There's a very solid reason why they can't move forward today. I like these people too, because it's logical. And the better you get at sales, and the more just like trust you have, and the more like references and resources you have, the more often that logistical interruption people actually do come back. When I first got started, I was like, oh, I hate this, man. They're just making excuses. They're not going to pay. They're not going to go. I was so mad. I just wasn't really good at sales. I didn't really know what I was doing, man. So you have to cut, I give a little bit of grace, when people are starting out, because, you just don't know what you don't know. I didn't know what I didn't know. Most people don't, right? It's not your fault if you don't know what you don't know. It's like maybe you didn't have someone like that taught you these different things. I kind of look like Ra's al Ghul with my beard, because like in the middle it's like a little bit less, but on the sides it's more. Ra's al Ghul from like the DC comics. That's funny. Okay. Next one, decisive. It's very simple, like the trust but verify. It's just like they either like I'm in or I'm out. Now this can take a day or it can take a year, but once they made up their mind, they've made up their mind. Okay, how to sell each one of them. Impulse, you just get on the phone. You literally just show up. 1 out of 10 people you speak with on the phone is going to be an impulse buyer. Okay, they're just going to buy no matter what you say, as long as they can afford it. They're good. Next thing is going to be someone that is, for the trust but verify, just make sure you have either references, make sure you have a business resume. If you have accounting experience, use an accounting resume, right? If you have videos or recordings of you doing accounting, or like you doing like a presentation or a speech, just throw that in there, right? Have them speak to, I think we already said references, or if you have any current clients, let them speak to your current clients, etc., etc. For me, for my accounting firm, I actually have recorded calls of like me with like our accounting clients that I can like send to them. So it actually just works. And like I have like different like videos and tutorials. Like I have like one reason why I even like made my second tutorial YouTube channel was so I could send prospective bookkeeping clients to it, so they can understand my knowledge with accounting, bookkeeping, QuickBooks, and see that like we understand how to train people and we like talk to our clients. So it actually gives them a preview into working with us. That's why I like made that section out. So kind of an interesting thing, just a little tidbit no one really understands or thinks about. But just being able to show them that you have stuff. Same thing with researchers. Same thing. Fearful, you gotta just spend time with them. Generally on a consultation call, you can sign up someone that's very fearful by being empathetic and staying with them for as long as it takes on the call. I don't really like that, because if a fearful person buys from you, they oftentimes want to cancel the contract, or they want to try and like back out, even though they might have already like paid your monthly amount up front, and they might have signed the contract. And they like have like weird excuses why they want to like back out. So I don't like doing that. I like instead turning the fearful person into more of like a trust, verify / researcher, give them information, have them come back, and then they've made up their minds. So like any one of these people can actually be transitioned into a different buying pattern. An impulse buyer, if you like have a price that's 1,000,000 times more, can become a logistical interruption because they can't afford it. Someone that maybe is very decisive, but maybe you said something weird or like they just didn't understand something, they can become very fearful. Someone that's a trust but verifier can easily become a researcher because you lose trust, right? And then an excuse maker / procrastinator can become very, very decisive if they have the right thing like happen in their situation or their environment, right? So excuse maker / procrastinator, that I just let time kind of do its thing. Like oftentimes if they're already on the call, there's a reason they're on the call. So life is going to just push them again to doing that thing. So I don't really have to push them or objection handle or anything like that. They just come back. Next thing, logistical interruption. This one, you can offer like different, like this one's more about negotiation. So I'm not necessarily saying to lower your price, but let's say it's like a cleanup. You can maybe have them pay the cleanup in installments, and you don't get started with anything else until the installment's been paid. You could do it where it's like they have a payment plan. So rather than like paying for the cleanup up front, you have it like you basically divide it by X number of months, X number of years, and then you actually put it on top of the monthly payment. You could do where it's like they pay 50% of the cleanup up front, 50% when it's completed, 75, 25, right? A million different things you can do. You can offer like the tax prep for free if they do XYZ number of months for bookkeeping. It's a million different things you can do, but that's how you close them. You'd really have to kind of understand like what is the logistical thing. But in some cases, like if it's logistical, it's like it's something that's physically stopping, like they can't make the decision. You just have to kind of let them go and like kind of solve life on their own. Decisive people, I kind of treat them like trust but verify. Just give them information and then like they go. Just pretty simple when it comes to that one. Okay, so that's the video. Depending if you're watching part 1 versus part 2, if I mixed them all together. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned something new. If you want some help growing your business, but you just don't know what you don't know, and you know that if you had a better proven roadmap towards growing your business, and you had someone helping you out, you'd be able to go reach your goal in a shorter time period, go ahead and click the link inside the description either above or below the video to book a call with myself to see if I can help you inside of our mentorship program. Okay? I will talk to you soon. Hopefully have a good rest of your day. Take it easy, and talk to you soon.